L'chaim ve'livracha, to life and to blessings. Today's lesson is in honor of the Yortzeit, 36th Yortzeit of Bracha Bas Chaim. She was a blessing of life. May her soul go from strength to strength. L'chaim bracha. When you conclude a part of the Torah, it's a reason to celebrate. Everybody always looks for a reason to celebrate. Because, life can have its doldrums. Although God is animating life at all times. But yet, when you do the same routine every day, it may not be as exciting or fulfilling or as meaningful. So when you conclude something that you've embarked upon, there's a feeling of, a completion, a sense of inner completion, a sense of, rising above to be able to make it happen. Welcome to Tanya today. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you from Chabad Zich and Kadesh in Montreal, Canada, where it's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Today, we conclude part 2 of Tanya. Part 2 is called Shar Yichud Ve'emunah, the gate, the pathway of Yichud, divine unity, Ve'emunah, and faith. Meaning, this is what Jews believe in, these teachings. The Alter Rebbe tries and makes it rational for us, that we can understand. But in the end, we're understanding something that the mind can't truly comprehend because we have no experience of what it means, ayin, nothingness before creation. Before creation? No thing? Well, we can only understand and appreciate and have experienced something. But no thing is beyond any kind of experience. So to appreciate that notion that everything that is a something comes from no thing of God, well, we understand the truth of it. We understand how that must be a fact, as we learned in chapter 2. And hence we understand that the power of Creator is constantly within creation. Because if not, it would go back to its original state, which is no thing. And we went to in great length to understand the divine attributes of God, how those divine attributes are wholly one with God, even though God is infinitely removed from them, but yet he's totally one with them. Can't get that. We don't understand that. I say the words, but we truly don't grasp it because it's beyond any human experience. First of all, we're not infinitely removed from anything. In the human condition, we're 5 degrees of separation between the brain and the world of action. But that gives us at least an inkling that we can appreciate the degrees of separation that there is with God, the essence of God that's beyond any kind of description, and his divine wisdom. Infinitely beyond. And yet at the same time, and this is where the paradox is that he's totally one with that divine wisdom, or that divine kindness, the divine compassion, the divine judgment, gvura. Totally one with. And therefore, when he creates the world, it's a reflection of him that's beyond, that is in the world, but we perceive it as a a divine attribute. So the first day of the week is Chesed, second day is Gevurah, and we have 7 divine attributes, 7 days of the week, hence. But the truth is, what we're perceiving is not merely as kindness, but as because kindness can be expressed in many different ways. I can have a feeling of love and I can express it in many different ways. Well, so does God do that. He expresses that love in a word, the breath of his mouth. How? By saying, let there be light. Hey, let there be light. Guess what? God's expression of kindness, loving kindness, brings about light, but also brings about mayim, water. Just as we can say, I love you. Another way we can express love is you're amazing. And that's what God does. But it goes even deeper than that. It's not just the expression in words, but it's the letters themselves. And that is chapter 12 that we have now come to, and we are now going to conclude the second book of Tanya. That it's the letters themselves. And as we have learned, each letter, the shape of the letter, the numeric value of the letter, what it means, because it's actually saying a word. Aleph means commander. Aleph is the first number, so numeric value of 1. Its shape, it represents, the infinite above, infinite below, connecting between them, and so on. Yeah. Its shape. And as we went into great depth explaining this, all of that, the reason why it is that way is not arbitrary. An A in English is arbitrary, the shape of it. That we say an A, we call it an A. For the same money, we could call it a B, right? And it could be shaped. The A could be shaped like the C, and we call it an A. And yet it's the second one, B. Why? Because it's completely arbitrary. Not so the Hebrew tongue, not so the holy tongue. It's not arbitrary. It has to be that way. Why? Why does it have to be that way? Because ultimately it's God's divine expression of his love, his compassion, his gvura, his refrain that is expressed in the world, that is expressing him. How? By creating through that word the actual object that's in creation. So tree, 8. Evan is for a stone, afar, for earth, or dust of the earth. Those very letters, and not just the very letters, the shape of it, the meaning of it, and the fact that there's an order of the letters. The first letter is more prominent. It's the first letter. So it is more precisely the divine energy or the divine light of God that is infused into that thing, that something that is coming to create. Where is it coming from? Ultimately from nothing, from the essence of God beyond, that is now bound up with chesed and gvura, the divine attributes. So that divine attributes is now the expression of it in word, the letters themselves that are the power, the energy, the light of God that is now drawn from the divine and is now embedded, infused, integrated into the thing that it creates, into the creation. Exactly. So the very letters that make up then a whole word, the very word itself, the very letters of the word, whether those letters are original letters, they're all original letters from the 10 utterances, but then there comes substitutions, transpositions, combinations of letters, which all show on a come down on the divine energy and the divine light, right? Metaphor, which shows on a contract, right? The contraction of the divine light. Yeah. So in conclusion, the Alter Rebbe says, well, everything is a divine light of God. So metaphorically, we have the light of the sun, and that sun can shine directly on us or indirectly. How indirectly? Well, it can reflect off the moon. When it reflects off the moon, it's not the direct sunlight, but yet it is a derivative of the light of the sun. So you have the sun, you have the ray of light of the sun that is now reflected off the moon. So you have a derivative of a derivative. And as the Alter Rebbe says, you have a derivative of the ray of light of God, even more than that of the reflection of the sun, that is now animating everything in this world. What does it mean? It's a derivative of a derivative. It means because you've taken letters of God, you've now made combinations, you've made substitutions, transposition, or numeric value of the letters in order to come up with heaven, a stone, an inanimate object that seems to be lifeless, but really it's the light of God that's animating it. Yes, it is a derivative of a derivative, right? Yet, what's in there? The light of the Word of God, the letters of God, the Word of God, that is bound up with the divine attribute of God, that's expressing an emotive attribute of God, and that's bound up with God Himself. And that's bound up with God Himself. And hence, everything in this world is totally bound up with God. In what manner? Well, that is being reverberated and being said into creation, something from nothing, every year, every month, every week, every day, every hour, every minute, every moment. All on different levels, different layers of the divine energy, how it is being brought into the created thing to give it its existence that it is, to give it its unique form of existence, the quality of what it is, an inanimate object, a vegetative object, an animal thing, or a human being. All that is coming from God Himself, united totally with all the individual, pluralistic, humongous, numerous amounts of things in this world. So we can all take it from those letters, from that word, and bring it back all the way to the Ein Sof. We only perceive a derivative of a derivative, not the direct light. But ultimately, really what it is that. With that, Nishlam Chelik Sheni Be'ezus Hashem Yisbarach V'Yisaleh, the conclusion of the second part with the help of God, may He be blessed and exalted. And indefinitely He is through our learning together. Mazel Tov, everybody. L'chaim, l'chaim, l'vracha. We finish the second book, which only means tomorrow we start the third book. No, take a pause, take a moment, take a breath of fresh air of the learning that we have concluded together, which is a big mazel tov. And that from concluding this, we start tomorrow, the third book, Geras HaTshuva, the epistle, the letters of tshuva, of penitence, l'chai. Stay tuned. A mazel tov to all.
Okay, welcome, folks.
Oh, come on. How did that happen? All right. Any questions? Any comments? Oops. I thank you all for being here. You know, a special day. Let's say a special thanks to all of our friends that are here. Tim, Texas. Akoy in Lima, Peru. John in North Carolina. Leah in Florida. June in Australia. Clem in Brisbane, Australia. Joe in Washington State. Mordechai in Massachusetts. Cindy in Florida. Daphne in South Carolina. Rabab in Tangier, Morocco. Diane in Arizona. Mark in Portland, Oregon. Liba and Davida in New York. Patricia in Ohio. Eugenia in Calgary. Well, Stan is in London, England. Rena in Colorado. Chava Celeste in Boulder, Colorado. Margot in Belgium. Czar in Malaysia. Who else is with us here? Hungary. Tunda. Tunde? I don't know if I'm sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. Diane or Devorah Chana in Pennsylvania. David in Sacramento, California. Who else? Elise in West Virginia. Loredana in Calgary. Alice in Baltimore. Ahmed in Egypt. David and David in Montreal. Marla in Florida. Who else? I missed somebody? Huh? In Flagstaff, Arizona. Gosia. Gosia? I get that right? Fred in Uganda. Amazing. Rachel in North Carolina. Ruth in Cape Town. Whoa, the whole world's here.
Converged them.
Oh, Jeff in Michigan, in Detroit. I miss anybody? The entire world is here. Wow, it's amazing. Yeah. Thank you to all of you. You're the ones who make it happen. You know, I mean, I'm just a talking donkey. Yeah, Mr. Ed. Gloria in California. By the way, Rambam's coming up. Stay tuned. I'm Rabbi Ronnie Fine, coming to you for Chabad Zurich and Kadesh in Montreal, Canada. It's a privilege and a pleasure to share with you the Tanya. Have an amazing, great day, and Mazel Tov to you, to me, and to all of us. Let's celebrate by sharing this with another and bring another